We are live.
Welcome,
Funnels and
everyone.
follow-up.
Funnels and Follow-Up, the COVID-19 show.
Oh, yeah.
Should we mask up? Should we, welcome to Funnels and Follow-Up.
No. So we usually do what we call evergreen episodes, but since we're in the middle of a crisis right now with this crazy pandemic of coronavirus, COVID-19, we figured let's do something regarding that since everybody else is. And, hey, it's bandwagon. Let's jump on it.
That's horrible.
I know.
It's actually, some people are putting out some really, really good stuff that not only addresses what's going on right here, right now, because, there will be another pandemic in a couple of years, and there will be another pandemic after that, and so on and so forth. We fly, we cruise, we do this, we do that. Things aren't set to one area anymore. But more than that, this is actually giving people an opportunity to reevaluate how they do business. For years and years and years now, people have been complaining about Amazon, especially brick and mortar places. Oh my God, Amazon is taking over everything. They're ruining our business. Amazon this, Amazon that, Amazon the other thing. At the same time, some small businesses adapted and began to sell their stuff on Amazon, and and they gained a larger audience. This is an opportunity for people to reevaluate how they do business and perhaps even gain a larger audience. That's, I like to see the silver lining in things.
The silver lining. And yeah, you have to reevaluate how you're doing business if you're not already an online business. In our case, we do most of our stuff online anyway. All of our meetings are through Zoom, so you can't spread a virus through that. But if you usually go into an office, take a look at what you're doing, because now take the time to figure out how you can set up a true home office and get things done from home.
That's right.
And please understand, we know there are some businesses and some jobs that you have to go to.
Absolutely.
We absolutely know that. We're talking about businesses that are able to go online, that are able to work remotely. These are things that you have to figure out how to do. And one thing right off the bat, you and I don't think about that often, Kat, but everyone's kids are home from school now.
That's true.
So the kids are home from school and you're trying to set up a home office. How do you balance that without making your kids feel like they're a burden to you because they're home in your home? So you have to be able to balance that.
Right.
And that you have to set up within your own home, within your own family, make rules.
Yeah. It's so important for your children to understand that you are still working, as if, and full disclosure, you're talking to two people who never had any kids. We got cats, we got chickens.
So if it were up to us, we would just say, put them in a closet, get them out of the way.
Can't do that.
Well, they did that to Harry Potter, and look how he turned out. You're welcome.
So, so in all seriousness, you've got to set up rules. You've got to set up rules and regulations as if they are in school. So they've got to do their reading, they've got to do their problems, they've got to do their work as if they're in school. They've got to read their books as if they're in school. And as if you were at work and, they were at home, if you were working in office, they've got to do the same thing. This is, mom or dad's office space. This is my work time. But you also need to agree with them. Okay, I will come out every half hour, every hour, depending on how old your kids are, and, spend 15 minutes with you, spend time talking with you, going through your homework, whatever it is. And even now, that would be a great time to set up a Pomodoro or a tomato timer where you're working for 30 minutes and your break for 15, work for 30, break for 15. That might be a great way of you know, being able to balance having the kids at home and having to work from home.
It's also a great way just to adjust in general to working from home. If you have not worked from home, if you generally don't work from home, you're going to find there are distractions.
Oh my God.
Kids are not. Kids are, the TV's right in the other room. The bed is down the hall. The couch.
The laundry has to be done. I mean, the dishwasher has to be run, and you've got to empty the dishwasher right now, right now, right now. These are the things that you're going to find distract you when you're home.
Even just your back door, going out the back door into the garden, into the backyard. These things can be distractions, and you need to put them in the forefront of your mind so you know that they're there, and then know you have to stay away from them. It's very tempting to, when you get up from your computer to use the restroom, you know what? There's the couch right there. Maybe I'll just sit for a few minutes. You can't do that. You have to be alert and realize that this is your job. This is your business. This is what you need to do to keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And we just got an email, and I want to pull out some things from this email. It's from a company called Tech Gopher, and that is the company owned by our dear friend Jerry Zabel. So
not owned by him. He works with them.
He works with them. I'm sorry. It's Tech Gopher, tech-gopher, TEC-GOFER.com. And Jerry Zabel is our friend who works with Tech Gopher. And here's a couple of things to think about. First of all, make sure you have high-speed internet. You can't do this, especially if you're on the computer all the time. You can't do this without having high-speed internet in your home.
Yeah, so think about if you have the lowest level that your cable company or whoever you use provides, think about moving up at least one level, because you need, especially if you're going to do video conferencing, you need to have bandwidth to do that.
Yep. And also, if your kids are going to have to do online classes, you're going to need a much higher bandwidth for them to be able to do that. Next up, move your phone system to the cloud. So especially if you have a business partner, if you have staff, people who are working with VAs are already aware of this, but if you can, move your phone system to the cloud so that you can get on the phone anywhere you have to, and your staff can get on the phone anywhere they have to. And that includes, or in this case, that is specifically about being home.
Next,
move your desktop workspace to the cloud. So it's a lot of move to the cloud, get on the cloud. Contact center, make sure you're using a CRM that is in the cloud. Especially, again, if you work with a lot of people and they've all got to access this information, and you used to work in an office, or you had been working in an office where everybody accessed this information off of a computer, you're now going to have to move that stuff to the cloud.
Now let's also for fail-safe, if people are accessing your computer, even if it's through, I'll use a technical term, VPN, something goes wrong with your computer in the midst of this pandemic, you might have a hard time having somebody come to your house to fix it. Yep. Or you might have a hard time finding a store open to get that computer fixed. Having it up in the cloud means you can use any computer to access your information.
Yes. So that's important not only for now, but, for the future. This gives you more freedom. This sets up more freedom for you. And, make sure you have the most up-to-date versions of Microsoft Office, Google G Suite, Dropbox, Dropbox.com. That's a great tool to be able to share files. So those are some great ideas if you are working with other people, if you are in an office, and you've got to move out of the office, and you've got to try some different things and not go to the office as often, that whole social distancing thing. But what about if you have a storefront? What about if you can't work from home all by yourself in social distancing? What do you do then? Well, come up with some creative things. If you don't offer delivery, offer delivery. That sort of distance handing off the bag.
And wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
It's okay to wear a mask. You don't look silly in it. You look smart, because if you have to interact with the general public, we're not saying they're not clean. We're not saying, this isn't everyday stuff. This is, they could have a virus for 2 weeks and not even know it.
You could have it.
You could have it.
Of the mask is to protect other people. So if you're doing home deliveries, if you're doing that sort of thing, wear a mask. It makes your customer feel more safe and secure.
I would also suggest wear gloves.
Always.
So, again, what I would use are like the food service gloves, the little rubber ones. Costco has the big boxes of them, maybe.
Probably the only.
We don't know what they have anymore. But yeah, if you're interacting with people, if you're in a storefront, like Catherine said, everybody is touching everything and people don't know that they're sick. Remember, it's a 2-week incubation period. We could all have it and not know it for another 2 weeks. So right. If you do have it, you still carry it, walking into stores, touching things. So if you're in that store, wear gloves, wear a mask, protect yourself.
And protect others as well. Wipe everything down. If you're in a store, wipe down constantly. Let your customers see you wiping everything down. Send out those emails. Yes, absolutely. Our inbox is chock full of COVID-19. Here's how we're protecting you emails. And you know what? When your customer sees you in that list of emails that comes in, it reminds them that you're open. It reminds them that you're a business owner too, and that you need, that you're still in business. And hey, please, shop local. Please keep us in mind. When you need something, we're here to serve you. Offer curbside service. We offer service where you can call in your order and we'll bring it to you curbside.
Not us particularly. You call us up, I'm not cooking for you.
Not Barry and I, but in your business, send out an email. In order to protect you, we are offering curbside service. You pull up, you call us, you tell us that you're here, and we will bring your order out, whatever it is. I'm not just talking about food service. I'm talking about, your local hardware store. Anything, your plant store, your anything at all, we'll bring it to your car for you. If that makes you feel better, we'll bring it to your car for you.
And if you're a service professional, CPA, lawyer, things like that, you don't need to meet people face to face.
No.
You can do it like we do with Zoom. If you need signatures, there are plenty of online services to get electronic signatures. You don't need to meet in person. Having a video conference is just as good and safer. Much
safer. And you know what? After all this dies down, after the virus dies away, after they figure out what's going on and how best to protect us, these are things that you can keep doing so that your business runs smoother. You don't have quite as many expenses. If you're offering things like, curbside, delivery and home delivery and things. These are things you can keep doing that your clients will love, that will set you apart from everybody else. If you've been doing face-to-face meetings up until this point, like Barry said, if you're a lawyer or an accountant or any of these other types of businesses, and you start doing these Zoom calls, people are going to like it because I don't have to clean the house for you to come over here to meet with us. I don't have to get in my car and go to your office. These This is the new way of doing business.
It's the new normal.
It's the new normal, and it will save time. It will save money. It will help the planet because we're not driving around as much. There's a domino effect here, and it does not have to be negative.
I think it's all positive, aside of course for the virus itself.
Yeah.
You know, risk of death and all of that.
COVID-19, not that positive. No.
Yeah, but the processes that we put in place now, while it's happening, these processes, like you said, Kat, continue moving forward with them.
Absolutely.
Because that's how your business will thrive.
Yeah.
You're offering services that are above and beyond the norm. And what's going to happen after this is all over, this is going to be the norm.
Right. Or some people will, revert back. They won't offer home delivery. They won't, ship packages or ship packages for free.
Yeah, you know what? You know what that is, Kat? Those are the same types of businesses that complained when Walmart came into town and shut them down. That complained about Amazon taking away their customers. They haven't adapted.
Yeah.
Now's the time to adapt.
You've got to adapt. And look, here are some other things, that businesses are not adapting to. People no longer carry cash, or not as much cash. Stop charging more money for using a debit card or a credit card. Stop doing it. In some places, it's illegal. You need to raise your prices overall 2 or 3%. Do it. Nobody's going to notice the extra 25 cents, the extra 50 cents, but it will piss them off when you're saying, oh, here's your bill plus 50 cents because you used a credit card. And people don't want to touch money anymore, especially with this COVID.
It's exactly what I was going to say. Cash money right now, nobody wants to touch it. Here, let me tell you something. One time we were in Vegas and we were in White Castle. God, now I need White Castle. And I was watching a guy in line getting ready to pay, and he was using his $5 bill to pick his teeth.
Oh!
And then he handed it to the cashier. Nobody wants to handle that money. I would have thrown it back at him if it were me, but nobody wants to handle money. Now, if that were today with the scare that's going on with coronavirus, I mean, the place would be quarantined.
Yeah.
Because it's completely unsanitary and a hazard to everybody's health, because that bill goes into the cash register. So the cashier touched it. She's going to give it as change to somebody next. So it goes to, and it's a vicious cycle, and that virus lives for days.
You know what? If you have a retail store, do a Facebook Live video of you spraying the cash in your cash in your cash register. Number one, you're stopping the spread of germs. You take a bottle with some rubbing alcohol and a little bit of water and spray the money. Show people that you're thinking outside of the box. You're going above and beyond. That's a great. Thank you for that story, because that's a great idea. Yeah. Flip through the money and spray it. Take a lot of the cash out before you do it. And yes, spray that money, absolutely clean that money, but don't show too much cash in your cash register. That's a whole other set of problems.
Well, and the other thing that you could do, Kat, is show that you're cleaning the credit card terminal where you're putting your card in. Because people are touching that and pressing the buttons to enter their PIN.
Not only putting your credit card in, but show, take the alcohol swab, take something and wipe that screen. Because today I went to the store and I, signed my name with my finger a couple of times, went into my purse and I with the hand sanitizer several times.
Yeah. I might, if it gets worse, I might even go so far as to say, don't accept cash. But that's me.
And that can create problems for people who don't have cards.
It could, but almost everybody has a debit card attached to their checking account, to the bank account. But that's an extreme.
That's extreme.
As a consumer, if you have Apple Pay or Google Pay or Android Pay, where you could just tap, and some cards now also you could just tap. It's one less thing you have to touch.
Yep.
Because we don't know how dirty these surfaces are. Not dirty. That's a bad word, because we're not saying that these retailers are dirty places, but the virus lives. Somebody touches that screen who has the virus, it's there.
That's right. And these, again, these are things that you can continue to do even past the virus. And I think, super, super important is that whole stop charging a surcharge for credit cards. Just stop it. If you've got to raise your prices a little, then raise them. But don't call people out and say, oh, you're paying with a credit card, we're going to charge you 3% more. Don't do that. When Barry and I go to New York restaurants, you are the worst. When Barry and I go to New York, we will refuse to go into a restaurant if it says that they're going to charge us more for cash, for credit cards over cash. We walk out.
Exactly. You're penalizing people for the way they want to pay.
That's right.
But that's just a small piece. Remember, this is all about staying safe, staying healthy during this crazy pandemic.
That's right. And doing things that you can continue to do after the pandemic that sets you apart from your competition. That's all you want to do. Oh,
well, and you want to keep your business alive and operational.
That's right.
This is a tough time for a lot of, not just small business, but big business too. I'm watching Las Vegas again. I'm talking about the Strip is closing down. Do you know how many billions of dollars that is?
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
We've canceled plans to fly into New York because of the virus. We're not worried about getting it ourselves, but if we do get it on the way, then we're infecting everybody that we're visiting. So we don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that. Now, on the flip side, while we are socially distancing, we are not, and you should not, as a consumer now on the other side, abandon small business, abandon any business. So shop safe. Today, I met with someone at a coffee shop. We sat outside at a safe distance. So you sit outside in the beautiful open air. You are supporting a small business, and you're doing that face-to-face meeting if necessary or if you want it. But make sure you continue to support small businesses. Call
up the business. If it's a business that you frequent, and I'm not talking about restaurants often, I'm talking more retail. If it's a place that you visit often, call them up before you go, see if they have what you're looking for. If they do, ask them if they could put it aside for you. You could even ask if you could pay for it over the phone. This way you could just go in fast, grab it, and leave.
That's right. Make sure you are buying gift cards to your favorite restaurants and use them later. That will help them get through this because, ladies and gentlemen, when the other businesses close down, your business will eventually suffer for it.
That's
because
it.
There's no money in the economy.
It's a domino effect. We don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
In our lifetime, I don't think there's ever been anything like this.
I think the closest we've ever come was 9/11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the only places that were closed for the most part were places in New York or that were affected by the destruction of the computer systems in and around the trade tower.
Yeah. Air travel was stopped for a while, but still that came back quickly. Here we're talking months now. That's what right. They're talking about. One of the places I just read, 8 weeks is minimum close down. Major League Baseball, I just read today. They are postponing for at least 8 weeks.
Opening season. And how many people is that going to affect? Is that going to harm as far as economy goes? So be smart Do smart things to protect yourself, to protect others, and implement systems now that will keep your business going, protect yourself and others, and systems that you can continue that when things go back to normal,
And they will.
and they will, these things will set you apart. Doing the Zoom calls, offering to your clients, hey, don't come into the office. Don't bother with that. Let's do a majority of our stuff online. You can also, tax preparers, accountants, there are secure online portals where you can ask your clients. Almost everybody has a printer in their house that has a scanner on the desktop. You can ask your clients to scan their stuff and then send it in to you. Most of the bookkeeping systems, for all of you, business owners out there, most of the bookkeeping systems, if not all of the bookkeeping systems, are online. You can send these things to your CPA. We're coming up on tax season, to your CPA, your bookkeeper, your EA. You can send these things online. If you are the CPA, the bookkeeper, the EA, if you don't do it already, start accepting things online. Start making it easier for your clients right now for their health protection, in the future as a convenience. Barry, you mentioned before e-signatures. You want to talk a little bit about that for those who don't know what that is?
There are a plethora of websites out there that allow for digital signatures that are perfectly legal, binding contracts, Adobe Sign, DocuSketch. There's so many of them out there that you don't need to be in person. We've been doing this from day one. When we have contracts with our clients, I email it through one of these services. They electronically sign it. I get a notice back that they signed it. I electronically countersign it, and it's done. And it is a legal binding contract. The signature is valid. So you don't have to worry about having that ink and paper signature. You don't need it.
Absolutely. That, and again, if it's possible for you to implement it, health reasons now, convenience later. So many of the things that you're going to implement now are going to should stay implemented for convenience sake of your clients. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to become a society of people who are holed up in their homes, holed up in their office, and don't go out and meet people. That's not what we're looking to do.
I have to get away from you.
What?
I have to get away from you. I don't want to stay cooped up with you 24 hours a day.
There are perfectly good chicken coops in the backyard where you can put a pillow and blanket and stay with the chickens.
I'm going to get chicken poop on my head.
That's right. In all seriousness, we're not talking about becoming a society or staying a society that is shuttered in, that is socially distancing. What we're talking about is, implementing things now to keep the spread of this virus or, any future pandemic that happens, and these things are happening. Keep that at bay, keep the world healthy, keep yourself healthy. But more than that, these are little conveniences for your clients. These are the little things that will set you apart, and that will, that will make your clients say, oh, it's so much easier to do business with Barry and Catherine because I don't have to go to their office to get coached. I can get coached on Zoom. I can stay in my office. They can be in their office, and we meet on Zoom. I don't have to battle traffic. I don't have to do, I don't have to get in my car and waste gas and all these other things and waste time.
That's it. Wasting time and money. That's what going online solves.
Right. Absolutely.
And again, we've been doing it since day one, and we recommend to all of our clients, if you're able, do it virtually. Why do you have to drive an hour to go meet somebody for a half hour and then drive an hour back? That's 2 hours that have been wasted that could be better served doing other things in your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so think about ways that you can protect yourself, protect your family, protect your clients, and have these new shiny ways of doing things that makes your clients' lives easier. When all the craziness is said and done, what is going to make your client's life easier? What is going to make it, better for them? Because when it's better for them, they'd rather do business with you than do business with somebody else.
So why don't you go ahead and put in comments some ideas that you're implementing, some ideas that you think other people can implement. It doesn't matter if you're watching this live or not. Just put it in the comments. Let's help everybody. Your idea might help somebody else. So why not go ahead and do that? So
absolutely.
Are we good? Are we good, Kat?
I think we're good.
May I go ahead and do my outro?
Do your outro.
Okay. Give me the jingle. It's my outro jingle. Oh, we don't have an outro jingle.
We don't have an outro jingle.
All right. So join us every week on Funnels and Follow Up. You can find us live on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yep.
And then, of course, on the Facebook page, Funnels and Follow Up, YouTube, Cohen Coaching. Subscribe. Please subscribe. And on all the podcast channels, iTunes, Sketcher, iHeart Music, Google Play Podcast. We're all over the place in audio only. So just go ahead, subscribe, share, comment, like us, and review us if it's one of those platforms that allow reviews. We'd love to hear your comments.
We'd always love to hear your comments.
And leave comments on the individual episodes. And with that, stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy and be smart.
Be smart. Bye.
Bye.